everyone, welcome back to my class. This is Romana Ali. I hope you all are fine. In today's class, I'm going to start a lesson, reflection of light. In this lesson, we are going to see how the light is going to be reflected, how the different rays are involved in creating an image. So we know that we can be able to see the different objects only in the presence of light. When the light is present, at that time only we can be able to see the different objects. For example, during the daytime, the sunlight is present. Due to the reflection of the light through the different surfaces, we can see the different objects during daytime more clearly when compared to the night. During night time, there is no light, so we cannot see all the objects in a clear manner. We can see the different objects during daytime, but their images or the objects will appear not so clear when compared to the objects that can be seen during daytime. So in this way, we can see the different objects more clearly in the morning when compared to the night time. Now, we'll talk about the shadows. We know that when light falls on an opaque object, the shadows are formed. And the position of the shadows are depend upon the shape of an object, shape and position of an object, and it also depends upon the position of light. So in this way, the shadows, they are going to change their position when the change occurs in the shape and position of an object or in the position of light. That means the formation of the shadows depends upon the position of an object and the light source. In this way, the shadows are formed when the light falls on an object. In the lower classes, you might have studied that light always travels in a straight line. Light always travels in a straight path. So when it travels in a straight path, when it reaches the surface of an object, it gets reflected back. And when the light which gets reflected back, when it reaches our eye, at that time be able to see the object. So here it is clear that the light from any source, here we will be taking an example of sunlight. So sunlight is a source, it is going to travel in a straight line. When it reaches the surface of an object, it gets reflected back, and when the light which gets reflected back reaches our eyes, then we can see this object. So this is a phenomenon how the light travels in a straight path, and when it gets reflected back, then only we can be able to see the different objects that are present in our atmosphere or in our surroundings. So here we'll learn one example how the light plays an important role in making the images on the mirror. When we take a torch, point that torch onto the mirror and try to see your face in the mirror, and after that turn that torch and point it towards your face, and again you see your image that appears in the mirror. So what would you observe in both the situation? In the situation where the torch is pointed towards the mirror, you can find your image that appears on the mirror is dim. Your image will be dim when the torch pointed towards the mirror, but when the torch is pointed towards your face, at the time you can see your clear image on the mirror. So this happens because of the traveling and the reflection of light. So in this way, when the light is towards the mirror, there is no more reflection. That is the reason we can find the appearance of dim image. But when we point that torch towards our face, the reflection of the light takes place onto the mirror, and in this case we can find, or in this case we can see that the clear image of ours appear on the mirror. This is how the reflection of light is very important to make the images more clear onto the surfaces. To see any object, light should fall on them. So in the daytimes, we can see the different objects that are present in our room. But we know that sunlight is not directly falling on the different objects. the multiple reflections of the sunlight will fall on the different surfaces, like on the walls, on ceiling, or on the doors, on the windows. So that multiple reflections of sunlight, when they fall on the surfaces of the different objects, it gets reflected, and when it reaches our eyes or when it reaches us, then we can see the different objects or the different substances that are present in our room. So this is possible due to multiple reflections of the sunlight falls on the different objects. We can be able to see that different objects that are found in our room. So in this way, light plays a very important role in making or in enabling us to see the different objects that are present in our surroundings. Let us learn about the rays of light. So here we'll do one activity to know how the rays of light can be observed. We need to take one mirror strip. So this one is our mirror strip. Now cover this mirror strip with the black paper strip. So we are going to cover this mirror strip with the black paper strip. After covering it with the black paper strip, cut 1 millimeter of white slit in this way. Now after making a slit in between of this mirror strip that is covered with the black paper strip, take this mirror strip in the sunlight. So when the sunlight falls onto this mirror strip that is covered with the black strip, but here a slit is made, so through this slit the light passes. When the light passes through this slit, if you want to observe the rays of light, then you need to place a sheet of paper on the ground, and when the light passes through the slit, you can find a ray of light that appears on the sheet spread onto the ground. So the light coming from the slit or from any other small hole, that appears as a ray of light. So this can be termed as the ray of light. Now let us see how the light is getting reflected at the mirror. So when you place a candle, when the ray of light is reflected at the mirror from the candle, then this reflected ray of light from the candle helps to form an image on the mirror. In this way the image appears on the mirror, but the reflected ray that comes from the candle, it bounces off at the same angle. It bounces off at the same angle. When this ray reaches our eyes, we can see the image that appears on the mirror, and in between these two angles one ray is present, which is termed as normal ray. This is the reflected ray, and here the ray which bounces off at same angle. Now the ray which is reflected from the candle, that is called as incident ray, and the ray which bounces off at the same angle, that is called as reflected ray. In between these two rays, a normal ray is present. So the angle that forms between the incident ray and the normal ray, this angle is called as angle of incidence, and it can be represented as angle I. And the angle that appears between the reflected ray and the normal ray, that type of angle is called as angle of reflection, and this angle of reflection can be written as angle R. This is about how the incident ray and the reflected ray helps the person to see the image that appears on the surface of the mirror. So let us recap this one again. Here is a candle which is an object. Now the light ray from the candle, it reflected at the mirror. When it reflected at the mirror, the image appears on the mirror, and that reflected ray that comes from the candle, it bounces off at the same angle. When that ray reaches our eyes, at that time we can be able to see the image that forms on the mirror. And the ray which is present between the incident ray and the reflection ray is called as normal ray. So the angle between the incident ray and the normal ray is called as angle of incidence, and the angle that appears between the normal ray and the reflected ray, this one is called as angle of reflection. So this is about the rays of light, and this explains about the laws of reflection, in which we have discussed the two angles, that are angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Now let us learn about the construction of periscope. So to construct the periscope, we need different materials, and the materials that are required in the construction of periscope includes agarbatti box, 2 mirror strips, scale, pencil, blade, matchbox, candle and glue. These are the different materials that are required to construct our own periscope. Now what we need to do to make our own periscope? First we need to take this agarbatti box. After this, just draw the squares at both the ends of this box and draw the diagonals of squares at both the ends. Now make a slit at both the ends of this box with the help of a blade, and make sure that the slits that are made at both the ends, it should be equal to the length of the mirror strips. So here in this experiment, we are going to use 2 mirror strips. So when we make a slit with a blade, it should be equal to the length of the mirror strips, so that it can be adjusted in a proper manner. Now take that mirror strips and adjust that mirror strip or fix that mirror strip with the help of a glue or with the help of a wax that comes from the burning candle. So with the help of a wax or a glue, we can fix the mirror strips into these 2 slits that are made parallel to each other. Now after making the slits or after fixing the mirror strips into the slit, make the windows to the narrow side of this box. So windows are made to the narrow sides of this box with the help of a blade. After making the windows, we should see whether the windows are open that faces towards the reflective surfaces of the mirror or not. So windows that are made on the narrow sides of this box, it should face towards the reflected surface of the mirror, and the mirror strips that are placed, they should always parallel to each other. When the mirror strips are arranged in a parallel way, then only we can see the different objects through an equipment called periscope. So here the periscope is ready after making the windows on the narrow sides. This periscope can be used to see the different objects. If you want to see an object or any person that is present outside of your room, so you can hide yourself in your own room, and with the help of this periscope you can see that person. And one more thing about periscope is the reflected ray of the first mirror will be the incident ray of the second mirror. So here these rays are called as incident ray, and the rays which are present between the incident rays and the reflected rays are called as normal rays, and this one is called as reflected ray. These are called as reflected rays. So this incident ray, normal ray and reflected ray, if they are lying in one plane, if they lie in a same plane, then only we can be able to see the objects clearly through the periscope or with the help of our periscope. So in this way the periscope can be made by using these kind of materials, and we need to see that mirror strips should arrange in a parallel manner, and the incident ray, normal ray and reflected ray should lie in a same plane. If all these things are managed in a proper manner, then we can see the different objects with the help of the periscope. Now let us talk about the formation of image in mirrors. How the image formation takes place in mirrors? So the image formation takes place in the mirrors due to the reflection of light. The light rays, they fall on us, and that light rays are going to be reflected back at the mirror, and again after the reflection of the light at the mirror, again that light rays is going to be reflected back, and this reflection of light rays reaches our eyes. At that time we can see the image that appears on the surface of the mirror. So in this way the formation of the different images appears in the mirrors. The simple thing we need to remember here is the light rays that falls on us, it gets reflected at the mirror. After it gets reflected, at the mirror, these same light rays again reflected back, and when it reaches our eyes, we can see the image that appears on the mirror. So this is how the image formation takes place in the mirrors. Difference between you and your image. Plane mirror forms single image, but if you want to form multiple images, then you can use more than one plane mirror. So when you use more than one plane mirror, you can form the multiple images on that surface. And when you see your image in the mirror, the left of the object appears as right and the right of the object appears as left. That is called as lateral inversion. The next one is size of an object. Now let us see the difference between you and your image. The image which is formed in the mirror, that image shows the right of an object as left and the left of an object appears as the right. This is called as lateral inversion. The next one is size of an image. Irrespective of the size of the mirror, the size of an image depends upon the size of the object. That means the size of the object is equal to the size of an image. That means the size of an image is equal to the size of an object. When you see the objects which is placed far away from you, they look smaller. In the similar manner, when you see their images in the mirror, that images appears on the mirror will also look smaller. So in this way, the size of an image depends upon the size of an object. It doesn't depend upon the size of a plane mirror. The next one is object is one, images are many. We know that plane mirror forms single image, but if we use more than one plane mirror, then we can form the multiple images. We can see the multiple images. So let us see how we can see the multiple images by using the two plane mirrors. First, we need to take two plane mirrors of same size, tape them, join them with the help of a sellotape. After joining them, just place it at a certain angle and keep the object in front of that mirror. When you keep the object in front of this mirror, you can see the multiple images that are formed. And when you count the number of images that are formed by changing the angle of the mirror, then you can see that the images are more when the angle between these two mirrors are less. So when the angle made between these two mirrors is less, then the images that are formed on these mirrors will be more in number. So this is how the multiple images can be formed by using more than one plane mirror. The next one is kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope can be made by using the different materials, and the materials required here are 3 mirror strips, rubber band, translucent paper and bangles. First, we need to take 3 mirror strips of same size. Now tie them with the help of a rubber band and make sure that it should be tied in a rectangular tube. When the 3 mirror strips are tied in a rectangular tube, now 2 ends are present. At one end, place the translucent paper and again tie it with the rubber band, and at the other end of this triangular tube, place the fix the cardboard and make a hole on that cardboard so that you can see what are the things that are present inside the kaleidoscope. Before closing the other end with the cardboard, just place few small pieces of colored bangles inside it, inside the triangular tube. After placing the colored small pieces of bangles inside the tube, just bind the cardboard piece at the other end of the triangular tube and make a hole on it so that through this hole we can see the inside view. When you see the view through the hole of the cardboard, you can see the different patterns that are formed on the surfaces, on the plane mirrors. The reflecting surfaces of all these 3 plane mirrors are facing each other. So you can see the different patterns appear on these mirrors. So this is how kaleidoscope can be made, and we can see the different patterns by using this. Next topic is spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors are the mirrors that contain curved reflecting surfaces. And this spherical mirrors are of two types. They are concave mirror and convex mirror. Now to understand it in a better way, let us take an example. Here we'll take one ball, spherical ball. When we cut that ball with a knife into two pieces, the inner surface of the ball can be termed as the concave surface and the outer surface of that ball can be termed as the convex surface. If the reflecting mirror contains a convex surface, then it is called as convex mirror, and if it contains a concave surface, then that mirror is called as the concave mirror. Here we are going to do one activity. We will take one V stand. We will take two V stands. In one stand we'll place concave mirror and in the other stand we'll place a convex mirror. So here this one is our concave mirror and here it is a convex mirror. After placing the mirrors in the V stand, now take an object and try to observe the images that are formed in these two mirrors. When you see the image that appears in the concave mirror, it is more enlarged one. But when you see the image that appears in the convex mirror, then it is not so enlarged and the image that appears in the convex mirror will be diminished. We cannot see the image clearly, cannot see the image in the convex mirror in a clear manner. The image that is formed in the convex mirror will be diminished. So in this way the enlarged image can appear in the concave mirror and the diminished image of an object can be seen in the convex mirror. So the drivers, they look into the mirror which is placed, which is attached at the sides of their motor vehicles. These are nothing but the concave mirror. They form an enlarged image. So by the formation of an enlarged image, the drivers, they should not turn their head. They can easily identify whether the vehicle is coming from behind or it is present beside their motor vehicle or not. So in this way, the vehicles which are present at a far distance, they can be viewed through a mirror called concave mirror. In this way, they form an enlarged image. Let us see how the images are formed by the mirror on the screen. So here we will be taking one V stand again, and in this V stand we will place a concave mirror. After placing the concave mirror in the V stand, take a lighted candle and place in front of this mirror. Now take one thick white drawing sheet and place that sheet behind the candle. This white sheet acts as a screen. Repeat this activity by placing convex or the plane mirror in place of concave mirror. After this, you adjust the distance between the mirror and the candle, even the distance between the screen and the mirror, adjusting them either by moving forward or backward till a clear image appears in the mirror. After doing this, just observe the images that is going to appear on the screen as well as in the mirror. So if the image is going to appear on both, if the image is going to appear on the screen as well as in the mirror, then that type of image can be called as real image. But if the image can't appear on the screen, it only appears in the mirror, then that type of images are termed as virtual image. So in this way, by adjusting the mirror, screen and the object in a proper manner till a clear image is appeared, we can find the appearance of real image or the virtual image by placing the different kinds of mirror. That is by placing either concave, convex or the plane mirror in a V stand. This is how the images appear on the screen by the mirror. So this is about the lesson reflection of light. In this lesson we have discussed how the different images are formed by using the different mirrors. We have also discussed about the spherical mirrors like concave mirror and convex mirror, and even about the different angles like angle of incidence and angle of reflection. So the angle between the angle of incidence and the ray which is present between the incident ray and the reflected ray is called as a normal ray. We have also how can we make our own periscope and kaleidoscope. These are the different instruments that shows how the light travels in a straight path and how it gets reflected back, and when it reaches our eyes, it shows or it helps us to see the different objects that are present in our surroundings. So this is about the lesson reflection of light. Here the lesson ends. I'll be back with a new lesson in the next session. Meet you in next class. Goodbye.